Welcome to our YouTube channel, where wisdom meets inspiration. In this channel, we share valuable insights to help you become the best version of yourself. Our content is designed to uplift your spirit and enrich your life. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay connected with this incredible journey. Click the subscribe button below.
Good morning. Firstly, pranam to Swamijis, all the dignitaries on the dais, faculties, and all the young and the futuristic brains of India. So, before I even share a few of the learnings in my life, I think it is important to know, is it even worth accommodating the learnings of my life to your life, right? So I will talk a little bit about myself and what my company does, and if you find that exciting, maybe you can consider the learnings that I have learned in the last few years. Firstly, I have studied my MCA at St. Aloysius College, and I always wanted to be an automobile engineer, but for some reason I landed in Bangalore. I realized there is a new course called BCA. I had taken it up, and the next few years I had a very mixed thing of did I take a right decision or not, right? And why I am telling this to you is a lot of times there is a lot of confusion in our head of am I doing the right thing? But you never know, maybe life has bigger plans for you, right? And I used to be the person who was interested in automobiles as a young kid more than computer science. I hated computer science. And I didn't even take computer science in my PU and things like that. But today I run one of the most reputed digital agencies which serves almost 99% of our business comes from exports. And the customers that we work with are few of the largest companies in the world, and we do innovation work, design, product engineering for all of these guys, just to name a few of them, right? Cox Communication is one of the largest cable companies in the US. We work with the complete CTO division or the innovation division of that company. Continental Tires, one of the most valued tire company in the world. They are based in Germany, and we work as an innovation arm for them. Montefiore Hospital, which is like the most well-known medical schools in the whole of New York. Albert Einstein School of Medicine is an extremely reputed school there, and Montefiore Medical Center is the medical arm of that. We work with the cancer department there, and now we are working with other departments. It's one of the largest hospitals you can consider. We work with Mercury Insurance, we work with many other large companies. Gap t-shirt company you would have heard of. So we work with that company as well. And along with the large companies, we also work with few of the finest startups. In India itself, we work with around 3 startups from IIT Madras. ZWorks, I'm not sure if you have heard, they are like the most well-celebrated Indian startup. They are the 25th unicorn of India. Probably the 3 founders walked into our office, all through reference, by the way. No sales, nothing, all because of our work, right? And then we work with Venways, then we work with Infinite Atom, 3 companies from IIT Madras, few companies from IIT Kharagpur, few companies from IIT Mumbai, and few startups from London School of Economics, London Business School, Kyoto, Japan, Stanford, UCLA, Georgia Tech. So all like different startups from like few of the best schools you can think of, right? And CloudKnox is one of the startup in the cloud security space that we designed and developed. Got acquired by Microsoft. XtraChef is another company which got acquired by Toast, and Toast went public. So these are few of the things that we have achieved being here in Bangalore. And all of you would have heard of NBA as a sports basketball. Sacramento Kings, one of the NBA teams, there are only 30 teams, right? And Sacramento Kings owner actually invited me for one of the games. and the first thing he told me is how much he loves the work that we had done. And 2019 Super Bowl, when it happened in the best sports stadium in the world, which is Mercedes-Benz Falcon Stadium, Atlanta, we pretty much managed the complete stadium experience here in Mangalore. So a lot of these things are not probably told of. We usually don't speak a lot about what we do, but our customers do know what we do, and we get a lot of inquiries just because of that. Right? So if you think these kind of things are interesting, probably I would also share, a few things with you. The first thing is like, all of you guys, if you are very clear about what you want to do, that's great. I saw a lot of students raising their hands. If you're still not made up your mind, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong in that. You will always figure it out, right? In life, there is many times you have these confusions, and life has its own way of showing you the path. So don't worry about that. But what is most important is, are you enjoying the journey, right? There are many times, you may not enjoy everything that you do, but try to enjoy the few little things. For me, what happened is when I took up the course, from not loving computer science, I developed a new passion towards programming, right? I saw one of my friends actually doing some simulations. I was like, what is he even doing, right? And then I saw, okay, interesting, probably I should start doing some small puzzles. That's how I picked up the knowledge. And when I did my MCA, I was the first batch which got placed in campus, right? There were about 40 to 60 students from different places. Till then, I was actually not very clear about what I want to do. I always thought I'll join my dad's business and things like that. A very, very raw way of expressing, right? Because there is no clarity. But the first job or the first student project that I did is when I really understood, I mean, these kind of things can impact so many people around the world, and I enjoyed doing it, right? And my student project ended up becoming one of the best projects, and the CEO of the company that I was recruited in picked me up for the first product of the company. So I worked on the first, second, third product of that company, moved to services. Then after a point, I realized probably there is more to life. I should just move on. And when I stepped out, the first thing, right? The first thing is I saw all my rich friends, what they were doing. Because, I mean, as a youngster, the first thing is like earning, right? And I realized, okay, maybe I should do distribution. And within 2 weeks, I realized, no, I should just focus on what I like instead of going after what gets me more money. Luckily, this one has proved the best. And it probably was the best decision I took that time. I was not sure whether it will bring me here. But actually, with God's grace and all the hard work that we have put in, it got us somewhere, right? So when people join my company, the first thing I tell people is please focus on your skills, right? As a fresher in the company, this company exists or doesn't exist in many years from now, doesn't matter. What will take you forward is just your skills, right? And I always put it as like, you're as rich as your knowledge, right? And any kind of knowledge is always good. So focus on investing in knowledge. Don't do any compromise or conjugacy in that, right? Focus. It will take you somewhere, right? Because if you have a lot of knowledge, everyone wants to deal with you. The second thing I want to say is, what I've realized is there is no alternate to hard work, right? These are some things I always say. See, if you haven't built the skills, that probably takes you right on the top, right? You have many other people who are ahead of you. It's fine, right? Hard work is the only thing that probably can change your situation. I have experienced this. And that's why I'm telling you, right? The whole attitude of, I will put 2 times, just put a very mathematical way of looking at this, right? If somebody is working for 8 hours, and somebody is working for, and just numbers, don't go with the numbers, and another person is working for 16 hours with the exact same talent, skill, and everything. The chances of the person who is working more finishing the job in hand faster is much higher, obviously, right? So just that can actually tell you that, okay, work harder, you will achieve for sure. I mean, it's very simple, right? If somebody takes 3 months and you put 2 times the effort, you finish that in 1.5 months, the general perception of everyone is, okay, this guy has achieved more in life than the other person because you have achieved hard. So hard work is the most important part, right? And another thing which is very important in life is build a very good appetite for taking stress. In life, I mean, this is like the most important skill, right? You know, your amazing job, starting something new, all of that is exciting when you start it. 6 months down the line, you realize that, okay, what I thought that I am going to achieve, this looks very different, because now suddenly you have to manage people, you have not factored that in. Every person has their own way of thinking. Now you have to put everyone together and, you know, take them together. A lot of things will change. You had planned something based on a certain factors. Now the whole environmental conditions are changing, right? And this builds up stress. And I actually put it in a very simple, you know, phrase. You know, I describe stress in very simple terms, right? Stress is created when, you know, in very simple, if you actually simplify the whole concept of stress, right? It is being in a situation that you don't know how to handle and you build anxiety, right? And this is it. I mean, if you see, right, you don't know how to handle that situation. A lot of things are changing. That is when, you know, suddenly the whole thing of stress builds up. But if you slowly start building skills, probably it will be less stressful. The things that used to stress me probably 14 years ago doesn't even bother me today, right? I need a much bigger problem to really shake me up. And that you will also realize that it might be too early for you to understand it, but over time you will definitely understand. So please build a good appetite for stress, right? Another thing is staying relevant. Continuous learning is the most important thing, right? In the modern world today, everything around you keeps changing. Everything keeps changing. See, last 3 months I was in the US traveling, meeting customers, because I see a major slowdown in every industry, right? And I see this trend globally. So I wanted to understand, I wanted to be closer to the customers, what is going wrong, what is happening, you know, because it is more important for me to refactor myself to see what is that we have to do. Everyone talks about AI today, everyone talks about, just to give you an idea, when we started, the focus was purely building mobile applications. We were very good at it. We were one of the very few engineers who worked on the very first SDK released by Apple. Over time we realized just mobile application development is not good. We incorporated design skills. So the person who heads my design team has few US design patents, because I always believe that you get the best of people, you can build a great team, right? So the person who heads my design division, he has a few US patents. He has done his research at the Cars Lab, which is part of Stanford University, and he was part of the global UX team at Bosch. The person who heads my mobile division today has built 5 of the 50 apps when Apple launched its App Store, right? Over time, we kept on building new skills. Today, we are an AWS partner. We have the largest, you know, backend team. We work with few of the finest companies. When Jio, Cinema, or Woot were planning to, you know, when they were getting their IPL rights, we actually worked on few of their video players, which couldn't take the load and things like that, right? And we also worked on the Big Boss voting system and things like that. So just giving you some examples of what we have done, right? So so staying relevant is the most important thing. The world is changing faster than you are. And if you see, life is more like, you know, you being on a treadmill, right? So you have to keep running. You have to keep running. Sometimes you get tired, you step aside, and you suddenly realize somebody else is running on the same treadmill that you are running. You should be okay with that. If you don't want to, you have to keep continuously acquiring new knowledge, adapting to what is happening around things, and implementing as fast as possible. The last thing I want to talk about is clarity, right? So just taking, my background, right? So I used to be very much involved in sports, right? So in school, I kind of excelled in few of the sports, but I really didn't take it to the next level. So for example, I started with roller skates, then, for Aloysius, I was given the certificate of the best basketball player in the whole of college. We had 5 batches. But then next year after I got that, I was like done, right? I moved on to the next sport. Like I went into hockey. I was like the center forward of the team. I got the champion in hockey as well. And I became the center forward for the Aloysius team, and done, So when I was actually starting up the company, I was always having, I have done excelled, but I've really not been consistent, right? So I was not very sure whether, will I do this also in the same way or not, right? But today when I look back, I realize, here I had little more clarity on what I want to do. I had my goals very clearly defined. I want to achieve this, and this is how I need to go. And I built my skills. Now I have like a very different goal. And, all my activities or strategies are based on that goal, because the goal cannot keep changing, but the strategies can change, right? Because the environmental conditions change. So clarity comes with experience, and experience need not be number of years. It can be reading, acquiring knowledge from everywhere. So another thing I would say is, while you're growing in your career or in your education, try to figure out what is that you like, and I think everything else will fall in place. I'm very happy to see most of you are spiritually inclined. Very happy to see the video, because one of the things that happened in my life, or what I always tell to my dear ones, spirituality is very important in life. For me, probably during my the Bangalore days, though I was not enjoying every experience, I used to tease my friends who were inclined towards spirituality, it was like that, right? I was like, what are these guys doing, and things like that. You won't believe, in the next few years, a lot of things in my life changed, right? And I met a lot of interesting people. And now half my life I've been a vegetarian. I'm not saying anybody should become that. But I suddenly had like a very deeper way of thinking into everything, Curiosity actually built, for me it was curiosity, right? I studied about Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna mission. I had heard about this ashram but never came. I heard like there are, different ways of learning, right? Paramahamsa, Yogananda, Jiddu, Krishnamurti, a lot of different people, like different school of thoughts, and a lot of inclination towards that. And today when I look back, spirituality, philosophy, all these things are very important for you to think deeper in whatever you do, right? It gives you little more clarity. That's why, when I saw education and human excellence, right? Human excellence always comes with a lot of values, right? And education is a very structured way of teaching you those, right? And when you have like right values in your life, you will achieve excellence. There is no other way, right? And another thing the last part I want to touch upon, when you talk about values and things like that, right? I have seen a lot of times people feel that leadership or, people, it is expected that if you're nice, you're supposed to be a great leader. Not really true, right? Being nice, being in your character is the easiest part, but at times being tough and taking the right decision is the most important thing. Why I'm telling you this is you might realize sometimes your faculties or, in ashram when you are, people might say, no doing it this way, you have to do it in this way, right? Now, the question is like, okay, he is not supposed, your perception of somebody might be, he is not supposed to be like that. But if he doesn't do it or she doesn't do it in a certain way, then the question is, are they doing justice to what they are supposed to do? right? So leadership, as you grow in life, you will realize this is also true. Thank you, everyone. I hope it was of some value, and thank you.
Become Swami Vivekananda's messenger. Share the video with 3 of your friends.